Social empowerment creates the hope that tomorrow will be a better day. And that hope is now a reality for our next guests. They are two youth who have experienced homelessness and have very promising futures ahead of them. Please, welcome to the stage, Montrai Williams and Brandy Sincere!
I love you too.
All right, now you both experienced homelessness at a young age and faced challenges like the struggle to stay warm, find food to eat, a place to sleep, and attend school. In Washington State, there are over 30,000 homeless students. For many of you here today, there is one in your own classroom. Now, Trey, how did you overcome the challenges of being a student experiencing homelessness to get where you are today?
Well, I became homeless at 13 years old, and I dropped out of school at 17. It was hard to concentrate and stay motivated in school when I felt so uncared for. 21, that all changed. I met my mom for the first time, and she motivated me to strive for something in school. She showed me I deserve success. 6 months later, I earned my GED at Bellevue College. Now I'm committed to being successful so I can have a life I know I deserve.
Amazing, amazing. Now, Brandy, from your perspective, what can the students and educators here do to support students experiencing homelessness who may be in their own classroom?
I became homeless at 15 when my mother, sister, and I fled an abusive relationship. Before graduating, I had moved more than 15 times. But most of my teachers and classmates didn't know what I was going through. The biggest thing that I learned that you can do to support students in your classroom experiencing homelessness is be empathetic and non-judgmental. Because you don't know why that student is falling asleep in the back of the classroom. They might have been up all night working a second job. You don't know their story.
Very true, very true. Now, guys, we often make assumptions about what kind of people experience homelessness and why, but the reality is that homelessness has many faces. It could be a student in your class or even a family with children. Half of all people experiencing homelessness in Seattle are families, and over 75% are single mothers. Now, Brandy, when you became homeless, you separated from your mother and your sister. Can you tell everybody how you made that tough decision?
Leaving my sister and my mom wasn't really a decision I made. It was something that I had to do. I love my sister and my mom, but I couldn't be successful in school if I was focusing on trying to support them on top of everything else. It was just too much. So I had to leave. I had to live with other people so that I could focus on doing my best in school, graduating, and going to college.
Amazing. Nationally, 40% of youth experiencing homelessness identify as LGBTQ. That's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer. Now, Trey, what are some of the unique challenges that the LGBTQ youth experiencing homelessness face, and how can we, as the We Day family, support them?
Well, my dad kicked me out because of how I identify. And many other LGBTQ youth I've met out on the streets have had similar experiences. I've been bullied, I've had problems in church, I've gotten rude treatment in public bathrooms, and I often feel targeted by the police because I don't fit other people's expectations of a normal girl. But since advocating with the Mockingbird Society, I've met so many LGBTQ champions. I've met so many LGBTQ champions that make me hopeful that myself and my peers will one day live in an accepting and affirming community.
Amazing. Now, guys, you have both become advocates working to create policy changes and act as mentors for youth experiencing homelessness. Trey, you are now an advocate at the Mockingbird Society. What kind of changes do you hope to see to improve the lives of youth experiencing homelessness?
We have incredible programs for homeless youth here in Seattle. But in other communities in our state, there are no programs at all. The exciting news is that we just passed legislation in Olympia called the Homeless Youth Act. And we expect that the governor will be signing it tomorrow. This will help ensure that youth across our state, especially in rural areas, will have supportive programs in their home communities. Youth homelessness in Washington is something that I want to end with an extreme passion. And once off the streets, no one, and I repeat, no one will ever return to being homeless.
Amazing. Now, Brandy, what advice do you have for a young person who's experiencing homelessness, and what resources can they turn to?
Find at least one person in your school that you trust and tell them what's going on. They can connect you to your school district's homeless liaison, who connect you to resources, and it's their job to connect you to resources, make sure your books are paid for, that you're fed, and that most importantly, you graduate. Because that is the first step to getting out of homelessness. Whatever you do, don't give up. Tell yourself every day that you are going to get through this and you are worth it.
No doubt. No doubt. So, on behalf of We Day, I want to thank you so much for joining us, Brandy and Trey!